Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. So I've been trying to film this little intro for an hour and a half, longer. And every time I make a mistake, I say things sideways, I go off on tangents, and it just doesn't make any sense. So basically, I'm going to give up trying to film this intro and just tell you, basically, watch out for this video. You might not want to watch it, actually. I know that's going to make some of you want to watch it, but it's kind of depressing. It's kind of a downer. The first part, at least, the first maybe third. And I tend to overshare, as you know, but I tend to overshare on things that other people wouldn't even bother talking about. Like, I've made videos about, and I've talked about having dentures and the pain and the shame associated with dentures, for example. I've talked about being sober, getting sober, and I've shared some stories that weren't so flattering about me and what it took to get sober. So this video is kind of in that vein, in that it's something a lot of people wouldn't share with you, and a lot of topics and issues that you don't want to hear, so you might not want to watch this video. So basically, if you know my story and you know the stories about my paper airplanes behind me, I had a brother. I had one sibling. He died in 1977. It was a tragic thing, and it happened in Rhode Island on a sidewalk near the house we lived in, across the street from a little park. And he was backed over by a pickup truck. Yeah, and that's just the start of the video, right? So it happened in Providence, and I didn't remember where it was that it happened. I was so young, and we moved so often that the details of where it happened were lost in the mists of time. And but then my mother died. Not to say that so cavalierly, but she died a year ago this past February, and she had a copy of HIT's obituary, and our address at the time was listed there. And I thought, what a gift, because I've always wanted to go back to that spot. I've always wanted to visit the scene of where my life really changed, and the whole arc of my story would change right there on that sidewalk. And so I wanted to go visit that spot, and I thought, what better day to go is actually on the anniversary of his passing. And so the day this happened was April 19th, 1977. So in this video, I non-rev on JetBlue, which is not the worst part of the story. And the trip back, though, was tough. I non-revved down to Boston. I rented a car and I drove down to the spot where Mark died. And I walked around the neighborhood a little bit, visiting the spot where it happened, and the spot, the park across the street. Talk a little bit about a memory that I have with Mark, a very fond memory I have with my brother. And I walked over to the fire station, where I ran over to ask for help after Mark that happened. And so I walk around that little neighborhood, and I talk about what happened, and I'm pretty, I wouldn't say incredibly descriptive, but you really get a good idea as to what happened physically to Mark, and it is unpleasant to hear. Now, for me, in my mind, I've had these memories in my head for 44 years, and very much, I think, very much like a clam develops a pearl inside a clam. That pearl starts off by a grain of sand, an irritant, something that causes that mollusk pain or discomfort, and so it secretes nacre. There it is. A clam an oyster will secrete this material that coats that grain of sand, and it keeps coating that grain of sand over and over and over again, eventually developing a pearl that's found inside a clam. And so, in my mind, the memories I have of Mark dying, while painful and a constant irritant, very much like that grain of sand inside a clam, in my mind, I've surrounded it with so many layers of protection that the memories, as tragic as they are, have become precious to me. And when I share them with you later on in this video, this is exactly what I've been trying to say for an hour and a half. When I share these memories with you and the experiences with you, they're going to sound really bare and kind of brutal and kind of unpleasant. But when I was sharing them with you, I was sharing them with you in the sense that these are things that no longer really hurt me. There's an enormous measure of sadness and regret that come with this pearl, that I have of Mark. My analogies are now going out of control. So I just wanted to warn you, when you watch this video, there are things I'm going to share with you that other people probably wouldn't talk to you about in person. So when I do share them with you, please understand that I'm not trying to be dramatic or theatrical. This isn't a grab for views or anything. You know me. If I were really trying to get people to watch these videos, I'm sure I could manage some sort of creative titles or thumbnails that would be more flashy to get people to watch my videos, I have 400 and some odd videos. I'm not trying to be a YouTube star. You know that, right? So I'm sharing these things with you as if you were my friends going through a difficult time with me. And that's kind of how it felt when I was talking. So I do want to sort of apologize if anything you hear or I say makes you uncomfortable or is too disturbing. I didn't mean it to be that way. I just really wanted to share this experience with you because, as I say in this video, how's this for a 7-minute long intro? Oh my God. I say in this video at some point that because I'm filming this with you, talking with you, I almost have more courage to actually go through this and face these memories. So I want to thank you in advance. If you do choose to watch this video, I'm sorry if you're uncomfortable, but this is me. I'm pretty transparent about who I am and what I think and what I've been through. I think that's relatively interesting. Maybe it's worth a watch. I don't know, but be kind in the comment section. Please don't roast me for sharing these things with you. Yes, honey. What, baby? Oh, buddy wants my attention. So I should probably stop talking and get to editing this video. And all right, there you go. Yes, honey. Can you hear him crying? All right, I'll talk to you later. Hey guys, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. Here's my chariot. I'm heading to the airport. I am listed on the JetBlue flight to Boston tonight. Let's see if I make it. So I am in Terminal D, which is much nicer than Terminals A or B where I usually work, you can see. So nice. So I'm trying to non-rev. I have not non-revved in over a year now, so I'm trying to get to Boston. Well, first, on number 4 on the standby list, I don't know how many people are booked for the flight. There are ways of finding out, but I didn't. So I just trusted my higher power that I would be able to get on the plane. But I'm number 4 on the standby list. My goal number 1 is to nap on the airplane because I woke up around 10:30 today. I took a nap at like 7 till 8, and that's about it. So I'm really hoping I can nap on this flight. I have some ancient noise canceling headphones I've had forever, but I literally just found in a box. So I'm gonna hope those work. And then get to Boston, rent a car, and then drive down to Rhode Island. Because by the time you see this video, it will have already been April 19th, if not past. And April 19th, if you know my story, is the day my brother died in 1977. When my mother died last year, I know it's a whole story. When my mother died last year, I got a box of photographs. That's all I got. That she had nothing else. And inside that box was my brother's obituary. I think I read it to you once I found it. And it had it had our address, our home address, where we lived when he died. And he died right outside the front of the house. I've never known where we were because I was 8 years old. So my goal today is to get to Boston so I can drive to Providence and visit the site where he died. It's been, 40 some odd years since I've been there. And I really feel, for some reason, I feel it's important this year, especially now that I have the information, to go down and see where my life changed so dramatically, So, what, you want to go with me? I can't promise I won't cry, but I don't know if I will. I feel more satisfied than emotional, but you know me. Ugh, I love to cry, so we'll see if I get on the plane. All right, let's do that first. All right, so I'm making it on board. Very exciting. I'm like the second to last person. They did call one other standby person before me, and I'm sitting in seat 1F, window seat against the bulkhead. Yay! All right, so I'm super excited. Look. No neighbors. Yay! And I'm in the window. Hey guys, all right, so I made it to Boston. We landed great. I got into the airport. I did get a breakfast sandwich and a cold brew at Dunkin' Donuts just to kind of wake up a little bit. I don't remember sleeping a lot on the plane, but I must have had a couple good serious naps because I did feel vaguely refreshed. I didn't feel really very sleepy as I thought I would. So I just got to the car rental center here, and this is the car I rented. I think it's a very sexy car. Doesn't it look very smart? Very sleek. It's a Kia. I don't know what kind of Kia it is, but do you remember when I could get in the car, right? Do you remember when I was going to rent a car for my birthday, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money because it was like $200? I don't want to tell you how much this car, how much this car is costing me for the day. Oh my goodness. All right, so it's with Payless. Oh, which does not mean cheap, I'll tell you. Oh, it's all snug. Yeah, so it is, I think the base price was like $150, something like that. After everything, I did get all the insurance I could possibly get because I'm going to be driving with not a lot of sleep. So I wanted to make sure I had all the insurance I had possible. You have to get a transponder to pay tolls and things like that, especially Massachusetts, because there's no longer, you can't pay tolls in cash anymore, so you have to have the transponder thing. Yeah, so it ended up costing $240 to rent a car for the day. I also decided that I'm going to need to crash at some point, and so I decided to rent a hotel room for the night. I was very excited when looking at the ID90 app to see hotels under $100. And one of them is the Boston Park Plaza Hotel, which has a very big sweet spot in my heart for hotels here in Boston. So I'll be staying at, oh, there's a car heading with their headlights right on me. So I'll be staying at the Boston Park Plaza Hotel tonight. Very, very nice. The lobby, wait till I show you the lobby. It's very pretty. And then I'll be returning the car tomorrow morning, heading back to Las Vegas. I don't know how, I don't know who I'm flying. I have not even looked, but that's the plan. So between now and then, I want to drive to Providence and Actually, after I talk to you, I'm going to put the address for the house I lived in when I was 8 years old. I'm going to put that in my GPS and head that way now. All right, so wish me luck. I haven't driven on the streets of Boston ever. Have I ever? I don't think I ever have. So wish me luck. It's crazy town. Boston is like the worst to drive through. All right, so let me stop rambling and get on my way. All right, I'll talk to you soon. All right, so I haven't left the parking lot yet. I think at some point when I was filming this video or something for this video that I think I said I wasn't going to get upset or cry, or I didn't know if I was going to cry or get upset when I got there, because, you know, I've cried this out. I've cried thousands and thousands of times thinking about my brother and what my life would have been like with him, where I hadn't been alone for my whole life, you know. And here I am sitting in the parking lot, putting the address into GPS where I have to go, and I'm already getting upset, and I'm already starting to like get teary, just thinking that I'm going to see the place where he died. See? So I think I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot for thinking I wasn't going to cry, because here I am just getting verklempt in the car in Boston, you know. But I want to thank you guys. I really do. I want to thank you guys for watching, if you're watching. Because it does, as much as you're not here with me at the moment, it does kind of feel like somebody's here with me. When I'm filming it, kind of seeing it as if I was with somebody like you, it does feel like I'm doing things like less alone, especially something kind of scary like this. So, again, you know, I thought I'd cried this out. I thought I was, you know, kind of done crying. He died in 1977. This happened a long time ago, but I've never been to this spot. I never thought I would ever be able to see this spot. So, all right. So I'm going to try and hold it together. Make it down there. I have to stop at a Best Buy along the way. I forgot my power cord to charge my phone. All right. So, let's go. All right. So we're here. What's very strange is that it's been something like 44 years. Is it 44 years? 1977, 2021. I don't know. It's been 44 years, I think, since I've been here. I don't think we were in this house for a week or two after Mark died. I don't think we stayed here very long at all after he died. But it's been 44 years, and driving here, getting about a block from this spot, I recognized certain landmarks. That I recognized a chain link fence, which has been there since, someone's yard. I passed by our school, the school that Mark and I went to, and I passed by it's called a spa here in Providence, in Rhode Island. A spa is not a spa. A spa is like a little neighborhood sort of bodega, grocery sort of thing. We would go there and buy penny candy when it was penny candy. And you'll see, I'll show you the houses, but there's a lot of 3-story tenements around here. That's the main style. But back in 1977, most of them, that might still be. A lot of the shingles were asbestos-based shingles, which, you know, is not good, right? But Mark and I used to go to these houses. Some of them were abandoned, some of them weren't. And we would pry these shingles off the house. And I still remember the texture, very sandy, rough texture to these shingles. And we would fling them as far as we could, like Frisbees. You know, we're prying shingles off people's houses. And pretend, you know, and throwing them like Frisbees. We're like basically destroying people's houses for fun. That's whatever, little fun memory. All right, so I'm about to gird my loins to get out of the car to, because I see the house right there, to go up to the spot it happened. And then I'll show you the oak trees that were there, and I'll tell you a quick story about that. And I'll show you the park. For some reason, I don't think the fire station's there anymore. But blah blah blah. I'm really just drawing this out because I don't want to get out of the car. All right, let's do it. All right, so the house we used to live in was right behind me, and I'm standing on the sidewalk right where it must have happened. It's very strange. It's very it's very strange to be 52 years old standing here. So, all right, so that's it. That's got to be it, right around there. Because I remember I was climbing and sitting in the V of a little teeny part tree. Now, back then, this tree was a sapling. Now it looks like this. So that's the tree I was sitting in, because so there's that V. I was sitting in that V, but it was like down there, you know. And oh, did you hear that? Someone has a rooster. And it happened right across the street, right on the sidewalk, right there. And this, you can see the curb isn't very high, so yeah, right around the sidewalk. All right, so I'll come back in a minute and share some thoughts. But if you look over here, there's these big oh wait, sorry, see that larger oak tree right there, and there's a couple over here, and there's one down there, big giant oak tree. Mark and I, before he died, I'm not sure, is it fall, or I'm not sure when acorns develop on oak trees, but I don't remember exactly what time of year it was. But one of the memories I have, and do you hear that rooster? One of the fond memories I have of this time when Mark was alive was we each got a paper shopping bag. I'm like pulling at my beard, I'm so stressed. We each got a paper shopping bag, and we picked up acorns, and you can see the ground here. The ground here is littered with, fragments of acorns. We collected paper bags full of acorns, and we put them under our beds because we were gonna keep them for the winter so we could feed squirrels and make sure the squirrels had food during the winter. And, a bag full of acorns under a bed in the dark, they end up sprouting, and moldering and rotting. My mother, fun memory, my mother, I guess, must have smelled them or something, but we got in trouble for having bags of acorns that were rotting and sprouting under the bed. And we collected them from that oak tree. I'm gonna go over to that oak tree, and I think right there, I think that is the fire station that I ran to. So let's go over to that oak tree. I'd love an acorn. If there was an intact acorn at the base of that tree, I would love one as a little memento. Even I'll just take a cap or something, but I would love an acorn from this particular tree. So, what a little gift. I found an intact acorn. I don't hear it rocking around in there, so I don't know if it's dried up or rotten or something, but I found a whole acorn. I'm tempted to plant it at home. and see if anything grows. But I found a little cap to an acorn as well, so I'll keep this as a little memento. And I don't know, I think I'm gonna plant this acorn and see what happens. Wouldn't that be amazing if it grew? So I'll keep these. So Mark died because this man, William Ellis, and his friend, I forget his name, they were parked in a pickup truck right here across the street. If you don't know the story, they were parked in a pickup truck right across the street where it happened, right there. And they were looking at kids flying kites in this park. Let me show you. So this is the park that's across the street. It's a lovely little park. Oh my God, that rooster. So there were kids flying kites in the park here, and they backed up so they could position themselves so they could get a better view of the kites. And they said in the obituary, which reads more like a news article, they said that they checked both rearview mirrors before backing up. They were 20 years old at the time. I don't know about them checking both rearview mirrors before backing up. I don't know. Whatever. But they backed up, and Mark was on the ground. We were both on the ground. I'm not sure if you haven't, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I guess it's okay for me to be a little frazzled, right? So Mark and I, just so you know what we were doing on the ground there, we were on the sidewalk. We got little pebbles and a larger rock, in our fist, and we were trying to crush the smaller pebbles with the larger rock, and then spit into the dust, like the cracked pebbles, to pretend we were cavemen. And in the end, it probably just looked like bird poop. But so we were down on the sidewalk pretending we were cavemen, breaking up these little pebbles with larger stones. And I got tired of it. I got kind of bored with, being a caveman. And so I climbed into the V of that little tree I just showed you. And shortly after, the guys in the pickup truck backed up over the sidewalk and over Mark's torso and over his head. Now, we were little, we were thin. We were thin. I just remember Mark was built like a bird. We were super poor. At that point, my mother was, struggling to pay the rent, and we would, eat. We ate a lot of scrambled eggs because eggs were cheap. We ate a lot of Cheerios, sometimes without milk, for dinner. And we were just super skinny, and I remember Mark, he had this giant head. We had big heads and little tiny bodies where you could kind of see his ribs. And at 5 years old, you should never see a child's rib cage. We were so thin, and the idea of that pickup truck over his torso, over his head, I'm getting myself worked up. Alright, so here is, oh my God, that's a loud truck, hold on. So here's the fire station. So I remember running into this door, screaming, my brother's dead, and they threw me into the cab of an ambulance, and we just literally had to drive around the corner. It was right there. And there you go. This is the little sort of bodega spa kind of thing. It wasn't an Asian market. It's an Asian store now, but and down there is Mark's our school. That's the school we used to go to. And the house is down there. That's the sidewalk. And this is the park where the kids were playing. My memory is of the fire station being further that way on the other side of the park. But so, sorry for flipping the camera back and forth. My memory is of me running across the park, like a real long run diagonally across the park. Because I remember the tips of my shoes, because I was running face down, you know. I remember the tips of my shoes. Oh! I just saw some acorns that some squirrel had eaten half of. I remember running across and seeing the tips of my shoes. So I thought it was over there, but it's here. So here. And can you imagine kites flying up here? Kids running around flying kites. And then that happening right there. Alright, so I'm going to stop chatting with you guys. And I think I'm going to just sit in the car. I'm going to sit in the car and just kind of think. Talk. I don't know to whom, but I don't know. Feels like I should talk to somebody while I'm here, you know? Alright. I'm so glad you're here. Alright, I'll talk to you soon. Well, I found some other little acorn caps that were in better condition that might survive the trip home a little better. I found them at the base of the tree that I sat in that day. I'm feeling okay. I'm actually doing okay. I was getting a little choked up when I was in front of the fire station. But standing here in the sun, it's a beautiful day. Look at this day. Look how gorgeous this day is. Right? Standing here in the sun, in the park, with a fistful of those acorn caps. I'm okay. Part of me just thinking that I hope that he, if he is conscious of me, if he's still, you know, his spirit is around, whatever, I hope that he knows I think about him every day. Here and getting myself worked up again. I really do hope I hope he knows I thought about him every day. About what life would have been like. You know, again, not having been alone through everything I've been through. And what our lives would have been like, you know, what he would be like. And I know that everyone has those thoughts when someone passes, but he was only 5 years old. There were so many things, you know. But I feel good. I feel good. I'm a little teary-eyed. I think when I get in the car and I stop talking to you guys, I think I'll have a good solid cry. But right now I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm really glad I came. I'm really glad I came. All right, I'm gonna go sit in the car and have a little cry. The neighborhood's probably very much like it was back then. It's pretty poor. It's pretty low income. There's a lot of trash lying around, and the houses are kind of in disrepair. So it's a lot like it was back when we lived here. And I'm sure these people, because there's a couple people out and about, they're all probably wondering, what the hell is he doing out there filming, you know? All right, I'm going to sit down in the car and have a good cry. All right, I've had a good cry. Sat here for a while and talked to my higher power and Mark and my grandma. Had some words, and you know, it's one of the most surreal things about this is
being 52 years old, I'm sitting here, 52 years old, in the spot that I remember so well from back when I was 8 years old, with, Mark having died right here, and then my having outlived everyone in my family, except for I have a couple cousins. My father's alive, but I hit some of his family, they're still alive. But the people I grew up thinking of as my family, they're all gone. They're all gone. And I sit here thinking, Mark, when he died, he left me so alone. And then everyone else died, and leaving me here by myself. I'm sorry, what a fantastic YouTube channel, right? I mean, who else brings you through this kind of torture? But I share everything else with you guys. And sometimes I don't think I have the courage really these days, I don't think I have the courage to face big things without you guys along for the ride. I think had I seen my channel before I had it, if that made any sense, if I had seen someone else's channel like this, and I didn't have my own channel, boy, I'm just making this even more obtuse, I would watch this thinking, oh, gee, kid, trying to get more views, but now, sitting here right now, I'm thinking, I don't know if I would have the courage to come here and sit here in this spot and visit this spot today without someone with me. And today it's you. You're with me, so thanks. Yeah, because I couldn't have done this without feeling like someone was present with me. And I know that you're watching this well after the fact that I've already filmed it, but it still feels like you're with me, so thanks. Thanks for that. All right. Apparently, I need one more good cry, so I'm going to let you guys go for a while. After I cry, I have to go to Best Buy and buy a phone charger. Then let me just start. I'll stop. All right, well, all that led to a pretty serious crying jag. I haven't cried like that in a long time. What helped stop me crying is maybe the whole reason I came here today is, boy, I'm so sorry I'm rambling so freeform. Honestly, I think the whole reason I came today was to say I'm sorry. Because I was crying like crazy, thinking of Mark and everyone who's gone and me sitting here by myself in this car talking to my phone. And I was crying like I'm probably scaring people nearby. Until I said I'm sorry, and I just fell out of my mouth because it's true. It's true. I even this late in life, I still sort of feel responsible. I didn't by any means neglect him or abandon him or do anything wrong, but I still have always felt like it was my fault. I've always felt it was my fault, partly. I've never really said it out loud, but I think I've always felt it was my fault. And so when I was crying just now, it just came out of my mouth, I'm sorry. And that felt good. It felt good. It won't be a shock to you. I've never had therapy over this. I've never gone to therapy over this. Because after my childhood, things like this happen, right? This is just what happens to you. So I don't know, blah, blah, blah. All right. How depressing, right? All right. Now that I've pulled myself together, I have to find a Best Buy to find a cable for my phone because I brought the wrong one. And then I'm going to call my Aunt Joanne, my father's sister. I haven't seen her in years, and they don't live that far from here. So I'll call her and see if they're available to meet up. I did get a hotel room. I think I said that earlier. I'll be staying at the Park Plaza. How fancy. Check-in is at 3 o'clock. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? And it's like only noon. It's not even noon. So, I think I'll go check and see if Joanne's available. It'd be nice to see her, or my cousin Sarah. That would be nice if she's free. I haven't seen her in years and years either, since way before I left from Boston. But I'm sorry, I'm just totally rambling. I'll see you guys later on. We'll see what happens. So, hi. I called Joanne. She didn't answer. You know, she and her husband travel a lot. They're always out and about, so I'm sure they're not home. So I figured, since I have a car, and since today is what it is, I figured I would come by and visit Mark and my grandma and my grandpa while I'm here. So, ta-da! There's the gravestone, and you know, it's creepy, but you know, as I sit here next to them, knowing that I too will reside right here whenever I do go. So I'm just kind of hanging out, sitting here next to everybody. The sun is beaming on me, and you have to see these clouds. Look what a gorgeous day it is. Is this not a blessing? Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I haven't been here since my mother died, and that was a year ago this past February. It feels like yesterday, though. I'm better now. I know a bunch of you were probably crying along with me earlier, and you're sweet. But I'm good. I'm good. I feel oddly more peaceful sitting here next to my family. There's little baby wildflowers. I'm not sure if you can see them. Can you see these they're little teeny little white flowers. It's probably just some weed, but it's just peaceful sitting here next to them. The grave is just under the edge of this really pretty tree. Sorry, I keep flipping back and forth, but like the grave site is right under the edge of this tree that I'm sitting near, and it's just a really beautiful spot, and I feel very peaceful here. I better, right? I'll be sleeping under that sod for a long time after I die. But so it's a busy day here at the cemetery. There's like a couple people being buried, and someone was just recently buried right there. Someone was just interned. You can see the ground is kind of sunken a bit. But yeah, I know, what an exciting video, right? Welcome to my life. I'm gonna sit here, chat with Grandma, Mark, and Grandpa. I was just talking about him and my dog BJ. It's a whole story I haven't shared with you in the past, so I'll just sit here and chat with them for a little while, and then hop back in the car. Best Buy, boy, they do not have a lot of Best Buys around here, so I gotta find some, like a Staples or something for that cable. And then I think I should eat something, because that bagel I had this morning is not gonna hold me much longer. So I'll talk to you guys later, all right? No, I'm an idiot. I don't laugh at me, but I'm planting. It's an acorn cap. It's not like I'm planting an acorn, but one of those little caps that I got from that tree. I just put it right here next to the gravestone. I don't know why that felt appropriate, but I don't know why I'm sharing it with you, but it just felt right. I don't know. It's a magnificent day here. It's gorgeous. Interesting enough, I'm not sure if you can tell, but can you see right over there? Someone's kneeling in front of a gravestone. He's sandblasting somebody's name onto a tombstone. I mean, it has to happen. I've just never seen it actually happening. Interesting. Very busy day here. All right, it's time to leave, but I'm really glad I came here today, as well as visiting that spot. I feel very centered right now. I feel very, very calm and probably the most peaceful over the whole subject of Mark's death. I feel probably more peaceful than I ever have before. This was, what's the word? Cathartic? That's the word I'm looking for. This was cathartic. I really feel like this was necessary, and I'm really glad I came out here today. Oh, there's another funeral coming up. Another group of people. All right, I'm hungry. Let's go eat. All right, so the day is looking up. I'm in Seekonk, Massachusetts. I just found a Best Buy, so I was able to buy a cable for my phone. It's down to like 30%, so I need to charge my phone. I'm in Seekonk, Massachusetts. Did I ever tell you about the time I got arrested? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I really got arrested. Big time arrested. With like shotguns pointed at my face. Yeah, all right. So, short story. I know this is a very strange story to be tagged along with the experience I've had today. I know. But, you know, if you've watched my channel before, you know, freeform, right? So, I think I was 19. I was either 18 or 19. And I was with my friend, who I can't remember Peter. I was with my friend Peter. We were at a McDonald's or a Burger King. I think it was a McDonald's. And we were actually playing on the McDonald's playground kind of thing, which they didn't approve of. They kicked us out of McDonald's for playing on the slide. We got kicked out of McDonald's for playing in the playground. And then that's not what I was arrested for. Then my friend Ian drove by, and was it Daniel? I think it was my friend Daniel as well. So they drove by in this big Lincoln. They saw us outside McDonald's. They drove up in this giant, shiny, brand new Lincoln. And they said, hey, let's go for a ride. And we're like, all right, sounds great. You know, what do we have going on? We're playing on a slide at McDonald's. And so we got in the back seat of this gigantic Lincoln. We were in I don't know where we were. We must have been in Seekonk when they picked us up. Well, we drove out to Newport. We drove all over Aquidneck Island. And we're heading back to wherever they got the car. It turns out that the car, they were on a test drive. They went to a dealership, a Lincoln dealership, and took the car on a test drive, which they didn't tell us. We didn't know, Peter and I. So we're in the back of this car. The dealership called the police because, you know, they didn't show back up. They called the police. And when we drove back into Seekonk, we're driving down the road, not far from where we are right now. And a police car pulled up, was driving towards us, and then it pulled right into our path and stopped us. Then a police car stopped us from behind and on both sides. 4 police cars pulled up on all 4 sides of us. Peter and I are in the back seat freaking out. And the police come out and they pull Daniel out. They pull Ian out. They put him in separate cars. Then Peter looks over at me and goes, "Are they going to arrest you too?" And I don't know. And then they pulled me out of the car, handcuffs. Put me. It wasn't the only time I've worn handcuffs. They put me. They put me in the back of a car, and then they took all four of us to the police station. Put us all in 4 separate cells. We could hear each other, but we couldn't see each other. And they took us to court the next morning. They tried to write up the report as if Daniel stole the car, gave it to Ian. Then they had to somehow get the two of us, Peter and I, involved in the whole car stealing thing. So they tried to say that I think Ian was going to sell it to me, and then I was going to give it or sell it to Peter. They had to tie all 4 of us into it somehow, and that is what they did. Thankfully, I was a student at the time. I had tried to go to junior college for a little while. It did not work. And I forget what else, but the judge basically told me, I don't know what Ian and Daniel got for this, but the judge basically told me I was an idiot for hanging out with these people, and that since I was a student and I was clearly an idiot, that I was just going to be on probation for a year, so not to get in trouble for another year. Okay. So that's my experience of being arrested. And when the police cars pulled us over, they actually got out of the car, and they each had what I seem to remember Ian telling me were 12 gauge pump action Mossbergs. That's, for some reason, that phrase kind of stuck in my head. If you guys know guns, is that really a gun? I don't know. That's what Ian told me, but all right, so how's that for a weird story time? I'm clearly feeling quite nostalgic today. So my aunt Joanne has not returned my phone call. I have gone here to Best Buy. There is a Taco Bell right over here that allows drive-through. So I think I'm gonna go over there and grab some something to eat. And then I don't know. It's about 2 o'clock, so I don't know if I should just head back into Boston and check into my hotel room. Maybe that's what I'll do, and then maybe I'll just walk around Boston for a bit, and then get a good night's sleep in a $100 hotel room. That's what I'm paying for the hotel room. It's $97. And then head back into the airport with the car. Then I don't know what I'll do. I might take the train back into Boston for the day. Depends on what kind of flight I can get back into Las Vegas, so I can get back to my cats. All right, so there we go. Whole huge long story and a ramble. Now it's probably a complete Steven video. All right, so this is the Park Plaza Hotel. This is I believe this used to be called the Swan Bar, but they really, really renovated it. It used to be completely different. It was seriously old school with chandeliers, and it was super fancy. And now it's super modern, but I don't like it as much. But it's a very nice looking hotel. All right, so couple things. First, I want that mirror. Holy goodness, look at that mirror. So, very exciting is that there is no parking. All right, where's the elevator? Oh, there's the elevator. Sorry, guys. All right, so, very exciting is that, am I gonna work? Okay, I'm sorry. So I couldn't find parking. Parking in Boston is really ridiculous. It's so hard to find parking in Boston. And the parking garages are super expensive. So I pull up to the hotel. There happens to be a meter open right next to the hotel. I had 1 quarter that gave me 8 minutes. So I popped a quarter in there because I had to go to the bathroom really bad. Here's the lobby, the
hallways there. It's nice. It's nice. So there was a metered spot right outside the hotel. I had 1/4, good enough for 8 minutes. I really had to use the bathroom, so I ran in, checked in real quick, and then asked about parking. And he says, well, you can go, there's no parking here. I'm like, oh man, why did I choose this hotel? There's a parking garage 2 streets over that they use a lot. I didn't ask how much it was because some homeless guy who came in asking for something said, oh, it's Patriots Day. If you're at a meter, it's free. What? So today has not been really a bust at all. It's been a very good day. Lots of crying. You know, I love to cry. And free parking in Boston? What? So here's my room. The guy at the front desk gave me a bigger room. He gave me a larger room, which is ironic when you see it. Large for Boston, but at my price point. But let me give you a quick room tour. Hold on. All right. Hi. So here's the bathroom. It's a nice, very modern shower. This hotel was built when people were 4'5", because that tub is probably 5 hand lengths wide. It's just so tiny. So bathroom, very modern amenities like a bottle cap thing. You can take bottle caps off. And then there's the room. It's probably 9 feet by 12. It's a very small room, but it's cute. It's taken up enormously by what I think is a king-size bed. I'll sleep fine in that. The view outside my window here is of Stewart Street. Maggiano's is a really great restaurant there, family-style Italian. This park has been renovated like a dozen times. And then there's Stewart Street over there, and you can see the cathedral back there. That's the south end. Yep, so there's my room. What I would really like to do is just to take all these clothes off and take a nap, because I am tired. I'll tell you. Let me sit facing the light. I'll tell you, I'm so tempted to fall backwards into this bed. Very emotional day. I'll tell you, driving from Providence up into Boston, I was very tired. Traffic got really bad, and it's not even 4 o'clock. Traffic was really bad. And then Google gave me 2 wrong directions. I ended up over by that Encore hotel I showed you earlier. It was just a poop shoot getting to Copley Square, where I found my way to the hotel. And by that point, I wasn't in danger of falling asleep or nodding off, but I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hitting a wall. But if I go to sleep right now, I won't. Yeah, it won't be good. So it is just about exactly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to go for a walk, and I think I'll take you with me. This video is going to be super duper duper long, and it's going to seem like it has 15 different kind of chapters. You know, first you have me, you know, heading non-revving, and then you got me crying in where my brother died very dramatically. This is going to be like a Spanish soap opera, right? Telemundo, what is that? And then all over the place. But I guess that's why you watch my videos, right? I mean, real life, this is me, 100% genuine real life, right? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting overtired, which means I'm feeling a little slap happy. So I think I'm going to fix that by drinking the Monster I have in my bag. I was going to save that for tomorrow morning, but I'm going to drink that now. Go for a walk and let's see what happens. Oh, goodness, guys. Now, can you believe my luck getting that parking spot? Look at my beard. That parking spot right outside the hotel. Right outside at the Park Plaza, which is dead smack in the middle of the Back Bay. So,
It's crazy that I got free parking. I'm at the intersection of Boylston and Arlington Street, where you're gonna see, let's see, the Arlington Street Church, which is right there. Now, when I was 6 months sober, I was the greeter for a meeting that would go into the door over there. And let me talk to you. I had a key to the Arlington Street Church. Now, if you go in there, there's 17 original Tiffany windows in the middle of the church. So I'm 6 months sober. I would go into the Arlington Street Church by myself, no one else is there, and walk into the church. It's at nighttime. The windows are all very softly illuminated by the lights of the city. You can see the John Hancock Tower behind me, the John Hancock building right there. Those hours I spent in that church, you know, I don't believe in a big God, right there, right behind me. But my higher power was in there, and boy, I feel buoyant right now. Part of that's my monster, but I feel buoyant. That's a word I would use. With all the emotion from this morning and the drive and the gratitude, I'm feeling buoyant. But those hours I spent in that Arlington Street Church, surrounded by those softly glowing Tiffany windows, reveling in my newfound sobriety and my new friends and people who identify with me completely. Oh, it was magic. It was magic. That's how I stayed sober. I was surrounded by magic. All right, so speaking of surrounded by magic, here we are. This is the swan boats usually would be going around here. And they've seriously trimmed these willows. Usually these willows, weeping willows, are enormous and they're spilling over into the water. Very pretty. That gold spot over there in the middle, that's the State House. And there's a magnolia blooming right here. Lots of magnolias downtown Boston. Now, if you ever get a chance to come into Boston and come down to the Commons or the garden. This is the public garden here. The Commons are over there. But all around there, and I'll show you in a minute. Right now, I think it's just tulips and daffodils. But during the summer, they plant really exotic, beautiful, beautiful plants. And it's just a beautiful day. And then there's tulips all over. I think they'll bloom probably in the next couple of days. A very famous statue of Washington up there. And now I'm gonna walk down Commonwealth Avenue and then swing a left to go over into Copley. This is the Church of the Covenant on Newbury Street. And this is where I really got sober. There was a meeting in the basement of this church, and then there was a meeting in the attic of Trinity Church. If you know Trinity Church, very famous church. Those are two meetings that got me sober and kept me sober and taught me what I had to know to stay sober. Thank God. In fact, this doorway right here, not to ruin the surprise, but just seeing this doorway makes me happy. All right, does anyone remember the Boston Marathon bombing? Now this is a little memorial, and this is where it happened, right here. Right where these sculptural pillars are. That was devastating. That was on April 15th, the anniversary had just passed. I was working at an optical shop down in near South Station, which is a couple miles away. And we heard the explosions And we were like, what's that? We literally heard those explosions, and we were probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles away. And then to find out what was going on, the whole city shut down for 3 days. Literally the entire city shut down for 3 days while they looked for the guys that set the bombs. They found them in Watertown. But yeah, just an awful, 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 awful thing. All right. All this happiness today in this video, right? Okay, so I'm heading back to the hotel. I'm tired. I am really tired. I walked around Back Bay. What time is it now? It's 5:30. I walked around the Back Bay for a little while. Popped into Crate and Barrel, poked around. I love Crate and Barrel. And then I got a loaf of bread, which is going to be a snack tonight and also breakfast tomorrow. It's a rustic cranberry walnut loaf I got at Italy. It's also a loaf. It's a no-knead loaf of bread that I want to try making when I'm at home sometime. So that'll be a snack tonight and breakfast tomorrow. And I bought a ham, egg, and cheese on a plain bagel from Dunkin's tonight for dinner because I have spent a lot of money today on a rental car and the hotel. So even if I save just a couple bucks on dinner, I'll feel a little bit better. So I will see you either back at the hotel or I will see you tomorrow morning on the way back to the airport. All right, guys. Hi. So it is 4:04 a.m. I'm not sure why I feel like I'm in a rush, but I was able to book myself a flight, a nonstop flight on JetBlue to Vegas. I think JetBlue is one of the few doing nonstop Vegas to Boston this time of year. So we're not. So very, very grateful. The website or the thing I looked at showed some open seats. We'll see. I really want to get on this flight. The next one isn't till, it's either 5 or 7 this afternoon. I forget which one, but so it's just past 4 in the morning now. I have to return the car, but first I have to get gas and then get to the gate. So I have roughly 3 hours to do that. That feels like a lot of time. It feels like a long time. And I hope it is. But I have learned that I have to give myself extra time because things happen, right? All right, so I'm going to stop yammering and get driving. I'll talk to you later. Whew, thank goodness I made it on the flight. I was number 2 on the standby list, and then suddenly I was number 4 on the standby list. They called 2 people up, not me, and I was thinking, oh God, I'm not going to get on this flight. I'm going to have to wait till 7:45. And then they called my name. Oh, so glad. So my last flight I was in 1F by myself. Now I'm in 10C, so I don't get to look out the window, but I do get an aisle seat in case I have to get up and use the bathroom or something. It's nice. And with JetBlue, even their regular seats, look at the leg room. Hello. Guys, hi. I had to take this mask off, so I'm hiding from people. You know, I'm outside, so hopefully I'm okay. Oh my God, I am so tired. I'm like weaving as I walk and drooling for some reason. So I had an hour's nap before catching that red eye. I didn't really sleep on that red eye. And then my hotel room last night, I may have had maybe 3 or 4 hours sleep. You know, I was so... after booking that flight for this morning, I was just really, you know, anxious about waking up on time. And so I may have gotten maybe 3 or 4 hours sleep max. And I was hoping to sleep on the plane, but nope, there was someone kicking me from behind, but it was free. I'll take that. It was a JetBlue flight, and the Mint class, which is like their first class, up in front. Those tickets are $1,000. I have to go online and find out how much my ticket would have cost in my seat, just out of curiosity. But people were buying upgrades to Mint at the gate
$500 to upgrade to Mint. $500 to upgrade. All right. I am gonna film a little intro for this video after I get home because I'm wiped out. Because this video is so different than my usual content, and especially the first part where I went to visit my my brother's, you know, that area. Some people just might not appreciate, and if I've offended or bothered you somehow by sharing that with you, sorry, I do apologize. But this channel is about me and my life. Originally, I did intend it to be like flight attendant themed, but really it's just turned out to be me. Some people like it. So if you've been bothered by this video, I do apologize. All right, I'm gonna put my arm down and stop filming because I'm so tired. I am getting an Uber. There was one car that I saw on the whole map, and he's like 15 minutes away, so I'm gonna sit down if I can before I fall down, and I will see you soon. All right, thank you. Thanks for joining me on this, and fly safe. That noise.